Hi everybody, I am back working on the scraps journal. I have pulled some scraps that I need to use to try to get rid of. It's crazy, it really is crazy. I find this to be pretty challenging to work with painted papers and fabrics and just all kinds of materials. Like this is plastic on the back and the front is like craft paper, and it comes from a bread packaging for bread. And so I like the idea of using this, and I have stamped it with stays on and a flower stamp just to give it some interest. And I like to use different packaging. It all makes it a little bit challenging to come up with something that I like, but I think I'm going to go for it. And I think I found something, a layout that I may be happy with. I also have this bird to maybe do a focal point. This is from an old book. And I thought maybe if I throw it there, even though it covers the animals here, it might be okay because it's big enough and overpowers them. Yeah, I don't want these to be the center. I want that to be the center. And I think this goes well with that and the rest of it. I like how the colors are working together. I'm wondering if I need to gesso a little bit more in the back. I think I'm going to try to do that just a little bit. This is what I have. What I did underneath the gesso before, adding the scribbles and the pink ink, is not a loss. What happens is it just adds dimension and depth with all the layers that you keep adding. If you just had one layer, your look is going to be flat. But since I have different layers of different media, like pencils and gesso, which is like paint, and I have the ink and the paper underneath, and I even have stitches, it all adds for an interesting background. The reason I added the gesso right now is because this that I had over here, all that seemed too bright. I did not obliterate what I did underneath. I still see my lines and the pink peeking through. Once I put my collage on it, if I see that I want a little more pink here or there, I can always remove some of the gesso. It gives it a cool effect with alcohol or water. Or I can add a little bit more paint on top of the collage around it. And so layers are great. They just add to the interest of the piece and gives it depth and really a good result, in my opinion. So let's hope that this works well for my collage, or I'm going to be adding more pink. But it was too loud. I like it like this better. So I like this right now. I think I'm going to do zigzag stitches. I'll try not to go too crazy with them. I think I'm going to really like it a lot more. There's going to be much more contrast. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to take it right now to the sewing machine and I'll be right back. I am back and I have finished my collage. I can show you here where the stitches are. Some of them follow along the lines of the piece, of certain pieces. Some of them are just little bits, little bits. I like to stitch where the pieces meet. Here I didn't actually, but I did here. And I don't have to stitch the whole thing. I think it's more interesting if you just put little stitches in different places. Here I gave it a little stitch because it adds a pop of color and some detail, because otherwise it was plain. And over here, you know, I had to, again, here, just a little bit of stitching. I didn't have to go all along the lines of everything. It gets, first of all, it's a lot more work and it's too predictable. I like this little element of surprise here where you just have little bits. They're a little wild, like this one up here. I had to add something to this because it was too plain white. And I love stitches. They almost look like doodles. They use scribbles with a pencil or something, but they're done with stitches. And so they add contrast and interest. And I'm really happy the way this turned out. Also, when I put it here on my page, I like the fact that the blues and the white give it a pop. I think I'm going to have to bring out the pink like I was thinking and highlight the edges with some black ink. And I think that will bring it together. I am going to use some alcohol, just rubbing alcohol, and I am going to spray it. I'm not afraid of doing that. This is not precise, precious work. And I love the effect it gives when you scrub it off. It still seems a little bit busy, and of course the stitches don't help. They make things even busier. So things look more blended. The background is more unified. It looks pretty cloudy. I think I'm going to bring black around. This is what throws me off completely. There. That's crazy. This right there. So yeah, I like that in black around the edges, definitely. This is what it looks like with the ink around the edges. It definitely makes it pop. I also press the ink lightly over the texture of the lines. It gives it like, it brings out the wrinkles, and I really like that. It reminds me of an old wall or something. And I hope I didn't overdo it. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. Let's see what it looks like with this. I like it. I think it's almost done. Again, let's try this. Much better there. I'm not sure if I will go over this with maybe a pink gelato. I have this one, which is the same color. Maybe just a little bit to bring out some of the pink, even though I did add some gesso before to calm it down. But I feel like this was maybe a bit too much. So you just keep playing to see what works for you, what makes you happy. I think I am going to come back with a Posca pen. And what I want to do is go around the margins, do a frame around this piece, and make it into like a doodle frame type of thing, just sketchy. And what it's going to do is going to pop and brighten up the piece, because right now it's pretty grungy right here. So I think by then I will say I'm done, except I need to add a sentiment here. And I have an idea for this side. Since I've been working on this, I kept looking at this. This is this paper here. It's a paper from the jelly plate. It was a print from the jelly plate. And because I have added all this to it, I actually see, again, we can abstract this image. I see a lady here. I see a lady. Here's the face. And I can't see it with this. I need this pencil. I'm just outlining a little bit what I see. Here's an eye. I can put another eye over here. It almost looks like a doll or something. It almost looks like the nose is over here, but I like this mouth here. She's got a mouth here that I like. We can always just make it, you know. This is just, I'm just blocking. It'll change as we paint it. But have the eye over here, and we'll have a nose over here somewhere. And this can be wild hair, either wild hair, or maybe we can turn it into a hat. This is like a big jacket to me. And I like it because I had sewn stitches on this before I glued it. Or no, actually when I glued it to the page and I sewed the stitches over it. This has given me a sleeve. From the shoulder down. I should say an arm, you know. And she's got actually a dress. Look at how long it goes. That's a dress right there. This is so fun. Just getting to work and doing your thing. Don't worry about what happens, you know, at your paint. Keep working, keep adding, and look what you can find. Something you weren't thinking about that you may not be able to think on your own. Maybe one day you could, but here's a hand. This is definitely her purse. He's got even a buckle over here. I love it when this happens. Like this. But that's her purse. Maybe you can make it like this. I'm a little mindful of perspective. It doesn't have to be perfect because I like things to be whimsical and fun, and I'm not doing realism. And so she's going to need some legs. They're going to go down here somewhere, obviously, but just kind of getting an idea. And so over here, of course, this is the dress that goes all the way up. And over here is the shoulder. And then we can do the arm, the inside of the arm. Like this. Kind of mimic the other arm with the stitches. And so that's a little lady or a doll or something with a purse. Now this purse could be, we can do something with this end of the purse to make it look a little bit either longer down here, maybe like that. She's carrying a big purse. People carry big purses. And maybe make it like this. You can change the lines as you see fit. Make it a little more accurate if you want. Yeah, that looks like a better purse to me. Still a big purse. And of course, we can give her give her a chain or something, or straps. That's just going to go like this, this. Actually over here, because it's got to go all the way over here. And that will be blocked and changed. So it doesn't matter, we have extra lines. That's her purse. There's her little mouth, her little nose. And we can work her where we don't have to get super thick with the color like I did over here, where everything's covered. We can actually work her where we leave this exposed so we can see the design on her dress. That we can leave. And then we block color around a little more solid so this will pop, and work on her face, and we'll see what we do with the purse and add some legs. That's cool. So we're gonna have a fun piece to come back and work with. So nice. I'm gonna get to gluing this. I was thinking of a verse in the Bible that it's in Peter, and no, I don't remember all the verses. I know where some of them are kind of. I wish I remembered them all. And I'm bound to repeat them here as I work, because I keep adding verses, and I'm bound to repeat them based on what inspires me at the moment, what verse speaks to me, what verse I need at the moment. And God repeats things to you. It's okay to repeat the same verses sometimes because you need them. And so I'm going to glue this. And there's a verse that says, clothe yourselves with the beauty that comes from within. And it says, the unfading beauty, there goes the glue. The unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. The closer I get to God, I feel I become more gentle, more quiet, obviously less explosive, if I tend to be like that sometimes. More careful with what I say, the way I speak, and it comes more natural. Contain my words a little better, a little easier, and become more humble, become more gentle. And that's how God wants us to be, It's not an eye for an eye anymore. It is grace and forgiveness to people and love, and showing people that we are followers of Christ, and therefore we have fruit. We can act like Him, become more like Him, which is what is supposed to happen. The more communion you have with Him, you become more like Him. Just like if you are hanging out with a lot of people, certain type of people, you tend to pick up their traits, their speech, the way they sound. Well, that's what happens if you spend time with the Lord. And some of us have probably get in trouble with our mouths more. We need more discernment, more wisdom when we speak. We need a tongue that lifts people up, not brings people down. And we need to be less impulsive and more careful. And we cannot do it on our own a lot of times, because sometimes it's our character. It's what we've learned, is what we've done all our life. But if we clothe ourselves with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, that's what it says, is so precious to God. And God can help us do that. It's important. It's important to walk in life, mindful of what we say. Speak truth in love. I'm not saying accept everything that's contrary to God, but love everyone and speak the truth in love. So, let's see. So here it is. And of course, once I get doodling, I don't stop and I add dots everywhere. Everywhere. I forgot I had to find a sentiment. And since I was talking about us clothing ourselves with the beauty that comes from within, the beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, I always want to have a more gentle and quiet spirit. But I also want to be bright, a bright light, like God wants us to be. Shine our light. So I found this in a book that says be bright and quiet, because sometimes I tend to be a little loud. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, maybe right here like this. And this brings this out. It just adds a little extra that brings it all together and makes it feel more complete. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this and be done. So, be bright and quiet. I wonder if fox, are they quiet? Are they bright? Birdies are not quiet. I hear them all the time. What are fox like? Oh, I think I'm going to go Google that, because that would be cool if the fox actually, if the fox's behavior is bright and quiet. Let's see. So, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Come back and see me next time. You'll be blessed. Bye-bye.